Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi will be arriving in India for a high-stakes diplomatic visit in a short while from now. This trip comes at a time of growing geopolitical tensions in the Indo-Pacific, making this meeting between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Tokyo's new leadership particularly significant. This 3-day state visit is until July 3rd, and it will mark the 16th annual India-Japan Summit. This will also be Takaichi's first official trip to the country since assuming office.
What if the world's next super alliance isn't built around military power, but around computer chips, critical minerals, clean energy, medicines, and secure supply chains? Because that's exactly what is happening. While much of the world's focused on tariff, trade wars, and geopolitical conflicts, India and Japan are quietly building one of the most important economic partnerships of this decade. And this partnership isn't just about business, it's about who controls the technologies, materials, and energy systems that will define the global economy over the next 20 years. Hi, this is Indranil and welcome to the Spotlight Media and Technology. Today we are decoding why the 16th India-Japan Annual Summit could become one of the most strategically important meetings in Asia and why investors, businesses, and policymakers across the world should be paying attention. The global economy has changed. For decades, efficiency was the priority. Companies produced wherever manufacturing was cheapest. Supply chains stretched across continents. Then came COVID-19. Then semiconductor shortages. Then geopolitical conflicts, then disruption in the Red Sea, then uncertainty across the Middle East. Suddenly, governments realized something important. The biggest economic risk is no longer inflation, it's dependency. Today, countries are asking who supplies our chips, who controls critical minerals, who manufactures medicines, who owns clean energy technologies, who controls digital infrastructure. This is what economists now call economic security. And India and Japan are making it a critical pillar of their strategic relationship. The upcoming summit focuses on 5 sectors that are becoming the backbone of modern economies. First, semiconductors. Every AI system, every electric vehicle, every smartphone, every military system, every modern economy depends on advanced chips. India and Japan already signed a semiconductor supply chain cooperation agreement in 2023 and are expanding collaboration to reduce concentration risk in global chip manufacturing. Second, critical minerals. Lithium, rare earth, graphite, nickel, cobalt. Without these materials, there are no batteries, no renewable energy systems, and no electric mobility. Following their 2025 Memorandum on Mineral Resources, both countries are deepening cooperation to diversify access to strategic minerals. Third, pharmaceuticals. The pandemic demonstrated how healthcare supply chains can become a national security issue. India is one of the world's largest pharmaceutical manufacturers, while Japan brings advanced medicine technologies, research, and quality systems. Fourth, clean energy, not only for climate goals but increasingly for energy independence. And fifth, information and communication technology, because in the AI era, digital infrastructure has become strategic infrastructure. Let's look at the scale of this relationship. Bilateral trade has crossed $27 billion. Japan has invested more than $48 billion in India since 2000, making it one of India's largest long-term foreign investors. Around 1,500 Japanese companies are registered in India. According to the Japan External Trade Organization, over 81% of Japanese companies operating in India plan to expand their business over the next 1 to 2 years. Even more remarkable, the Japan Bank for International Cooperation has ranked India as Japan's most promising long-term overseas business destination for 15 consecutive years. That's consistency, not speculation. The two countries has also established 11 Japan Industrial Township across 8 Indian states, specifically designed to support Japanese manufacturing investments. Meanwhile, both governments continue working towards their ambitious target of 10 trillion yen in Japanese private investment into India. Perhaps the most fascinating example of this partnership is happening in Odisha. India's ACME Group, together with Japan's IHI Corporation, is developing one of India's largest green ammonia projects. Its annual production capacity 405,000 tons. And here's what makes this globally significant. Japan has committed approximately $5 billion in long-term support through its Contract for Difference and long-term decarbonization power source auction programs. Around $3 billion will help bridge the cost difference between conservation gray ammonia and renewable green ammonia over 15 years. Another $2 billion supports long-term power sector decarbonization. Beginning in 2030, the project's entire production will be exported to Japan. That ammonia will help power stations reduce emissions through co-firing, support chemical manufacturing, and even be used in semiconductor production. This isn't simply an export deal. It's an example of how climate policy, industrial strategy, and energy security are becoming deeply interconnected. At the Spotlight Media and Technology, we see something much larger than bilateral trade. This partnership reflects a new generation of ESG thinking, environmental. Green ammonia demonstrates that decarbonization can create entirely new international value chains rather than simply reducing emissions. Social. Large-scale investment can generate skilled jobs, technology transfer, infrastructure development, and industrial growth across multiple regions in India. Governance, perhaps the strongest pillar. Economic security depends on transparent partnerships, diversified supply chains, responsible sourcing of critical minerals, resilient infrastructure, and predictable long-term policy. But there are also important challenges. Green hydrogen and green ammonia remain expensive. Critical mineral extraction must meet high environmental and social standards. Large infrastructure projects require strong governance, land management, and community engagement. Technology collaboration must also balance innovation with cybersecurity and intellectual property protection. Economic security cannot come at the expense of sustainability, and sustainability cannot ignore geopolitical realities. The strongest partnerships will be those that successfully deliver both. The India-Japan partnership is no longer just about infrastructure. It is evolving into a strategic alliance centered on technology, energy, manufacturing, and resilient global supply chains. In an increasingly uncertain world, countries are no longer asking only who is the cheapest partner. They are asking who is the most trusted partner. And that question may define the next chapter of the global economy. If you are navigating economic security, ESG strategy, or sustainable industrial transformation at your organization, we help companies with ESG strategy and communication. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this analysis, subscribe to the Spotlight Beyond Profession, where we decode the intersection of ESG, technology, policy, and the global economy. Thank you very much for watching and signing it off.